IPOs as a primary market activity are used by companies to raise expansion capital, to possibly monetize the investments of early private investors and become publicly traded enterprises. Welcome to another edition of the Nigerian Investor. Last week we talked about Transcorp hotel IPOs and the development of two high-end hotels. Today we want to talk about the IPO market, performance review, and Transcorp hotels initial offer. The IPO market, a primary market activity in any market system, remains a window for new firms to raise fresh capital, while it also serves as a barometer which helps to gauge how healthy the market is, investors' confidence, as well as the mood in the market at any point in time. Activities within this section of the market have continued to improve in recent times compared to no activity situation in the last 2 years. 7 quoted firms have embraced the right issue window so far in 2014, while 3 other firms have also shown interest to toe the same line before the year runs out. Market witnessed one IPO seplat earlier in the year with another currently going on, Transcorp Hotel PLC. A price performance review of the 46 companies listed on the Nigerian bourse from 2008 to date shows that 7 of those firms currently record positive returns, while the remaining 39 records negative returns. African Prudentials led the gainers with 96.41% gain in relation to its listing price, while Calverton led otherwise with 49.25% loss. Further analysis on these firms also revealed that the financial services sector witnessed the highest number of listings from 2008 to date, with 17 firms listed, and closely followed by consumer goods, industrial goods, and services sector. Transcorp Hotel PLC, a company in the hospitality subsector, recently declared its initial public offer open on the 26th of September 2014 and expected to close on 17 October 2014. The TNI team spoke to market stakeholders on the ongoing offer, and they are of the view that the offer represents a good sign that the market is gradually recovering after the IPO market has witnessed a few or no activity in the last 2 years. Let's listen to some of the market stakeholders.
More and more issuers are coming to the market to raise funds. But that is the primary responsibility of the market, is for them to raise funds, okay? So more and more companies coming now, to us is not a surprise, because over time, we asked ourselves, what were the reasons that made these companies not to come? There were a lot of issues in the market, there were a lot of problems in the market. But that goes to show that these problems are now being taken care of. Investors' confidence is coming back gradually. So that's why you now see most of these companies coming back to the market to raise funds. But at the same time, on the part of the regulators, they are not going to allow the problems of the past to affect what is happening now. So any company that is coming for either a right issue or a public offer or whatever is properly screened and must be ensured that the purpose for which they are raising these funds, the monies are used for it.
Anytime there's IPO, right issue, and other issue, always signal the good development of the market. And you can see during the market crash, there are no any of this issue in the market. So if you are seeing the issue in the market, it's giving us a positive note about the market, that the market is witnessing a very good development. And that is why we are having high IPOs, right issue, and bonus issue everywhere. And in that case, if you are having it like that, we will welcome it as a good development for the market.
So it is a re-establishment of the rules and regulations of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, I would say, to ensure that the market is transparent, efficient, free, and investors are protected. So that's going to be the guiding principles and values of what regulators are using now to ensure that investors are not shortchanged. Any issuer that is coming to the market has met all the requirements and the due diligence has been done to ensure at the end of the day it is better for the company, better for the individual, and better for the nation as a whole.
And as regards to IPO of IPO of Transcorp Hotel is a very good one, because if you are looking at it from the perspective of the fact that they have, though some people believe, actually some people believe it's overpriced. Yeah, it's overpriced if you look at it compared to what we are. But if you look at it from the another hand, and that is how much are they coming to raise from the market. They are coming to raise just 800,000. 8 billion. 8 billion is going to be 800,000 units outstanding. And if you compare to how much they are going to raise, it's not a float that can affect the price after the listing. But if you look at it from another hand, looking at it from the earnings that the company has, the company is currently having earnings of around 530 something kobo. And if you look at the earnings, if you consider the diluted, shares after the listing, the earnings will drastically come down. And if you look at the projected earnings for 2014, it's going to be at 31 kobo, and that is a very serious decline in the earning. And if you are looking from that aspect, fundamental issue, you will say is very expensive. It's very expensive. But looking at it from how much they are coming to raise and the number of shares in issue is a good buy, and you will see that this offer will be oversubscribed by the investors.
Each investor has their own stockbroker. Get close to your stockbroker, do your own analysis, and based on all that information, the investor can now take his own investment decision. But for me personally, as an individual, not as a stockbroker now, I think I have already subscribed to Transcorp Hotels.
Sir, what do you think will be the likely impact of the recapitalization in the capital markets that is bound to happen by 31st of December 2014 and the structure thereof?
Okay, yeah, this is not the first time we have this kind of discussion about recapitalization. We had it in the banks before. We saw what happened and all that. Now, coming to the capital market, this information has been there for almost a year. The stockbroking communities and, in fact, operators in the capital market have been given almost a year to recapitalize. And I will tell you here, most of them are actually, and they have met up their requirements. It's just a little bit of fine-tuning here and there, especially the stockbroking community.
The following are the upcoming AGMs in the market: the Entire and Rubber PSC on the 17th of October 2014, Guinness Nigeria PSC on the 13th of November 2014, and Academy Press PSC on the 16th of October 2014. On corporate declaration, that PSC recommended 1-for-2 bonus with closure date set for 7th of November 2014, and Oando PSC declared interim dividend of 70 kobo with qualification date set for 17 November 2014. On announcement in the market, Zenith Bank announces divestment plan for Zenith Securities Limited. Zenith Bank PSC has notified the Nigerian Stock Exchange that the bank has reached an agreement with some investors in respect of the sale and divestment of Zenith Bank's investment interest in Zenith Securities Limited. Zenith Bank states that it is currently processing necessary approval with the Security and Exchange Commission for the divestment and expecting that, barring the occurrence of any unforeseen circumstances, the process will be completed shortly, after which the company's particulars of directors at the Corporate Affairs Commission will be updated accordingly. Nigerian Breweries proposes scheme of merger with Consolidated Breweries PSC. Nigerian Breweries PSC has notified the Nigerian Stock Exchange that the company has obtained the approval of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) to the scheme for the proposed merger of Nigerian Breweries and Consolidated Breweries PSC. With the approval, the two companies will next approach the Federal High Court for its order to enable the company convene their separate general meetings, court order meetings, for the purpose of obtaining the approval of the respective shareholders to the proposed merger. The scheme of merger document containing the details of the consideration and other terms of the proposed merger will be sent to the shareholders of the two companies ahead of the court-ordered meetings. Nigerian Breweries PSC will keep the exchange and other stakeholders informed of further development, particularly on the date and venue of the court-ordered meetings, as soon as it obtains the said order. Next2 gives notice of board meeting. Next2 Nigeria PSC has notified the Nigerian Stock Exchange that the company's board of directors will meet on Monday, 27th October 2014, to consider the unaudited result of the company for the period ended 30th September 2014. The company states that the meeting may consider and recommend the payment of interim dividend to the shareholders. UBA proposes right issue to shore up Tier 1 capital. United Bank for Africa PSC has notified the exchange that it has commenced the process of raising Tier 1 capital by way of a rights issue. This is further to the shareholders and board resolution authorizing the bank to raise additional capital by various means, including a rights issue. The right issue will be issued to existing shareholders shall be on the basis of 1 new ordinary shares for every 10 ordinary shares held as at the date to be communicated and subject to regulatory approval. The bank will communicate further information on the proposed offer to shareholders and other stakeholders in due course upon receipt of regulatory approval. On people and changes in board, International Breweries appoints Andrew Rose as new Chief Operating Officer. International Breweries PLC has notified the Nigerian Stock Exchange of the appointment of Mr. Andrew Rose as the new Chief Operating Officer of the company. He takes over from Mr. Carlos Gomez effective 1st October 2014. Diamond Bank announces the resignation of Ngozi Edosien and Alan Christopher as directors. Diamond Bank PLC has notified the exchange of the resignation of Ms. Ngozi Oluwatoyin Edosien and Mr. Alan Christopher Michael Lowe as non-executive director of the bank. The board of directors of Diamond Bank at its meeting held on 28 August 2014 accepted the resignation of the two directors. NSE gives final notice of delisting on Investment and Allied Insurance, Starcoms, Just International Breweries, and 6 others. On Monday, 23 June 2014, the Nigerian Stock Exchange published a notice of its intention to delist 24 listed companies from the daily official list, arising from their non-compliance with provisions of the listing rule of the exchange and pursuant to Clause 15 of the General Undertaking. The notice provided a 3-month window for each of the affected listed companies to regularize its listing status with the exchange. Since then, one of the affected companies has fully regularized its listing status. Further, 15 companies have taken some steps to regularize their listing status. However, the entity listed below have failed to take any or appropriate steps to regularize their listing status. 1. Investment and Allied Insurance PLC, Pinnacle Point Group, Afro Oil PLC, West African Glass Industry PLC, Nigerian Wire and Cable PLC, Starcoms PLC, Mstech, Big Trade, and Just International Breweries PLC. Please note that this serves as the final notice of delisting. The exchange will proceed with the delisting process for the above listed company after 1 month of this notice, unless they take appropriate steps to effect compliance with their post-listing obligations. The exchange will continue to engage the 14 companies that have taken steps towards regularizing their listing status with a view to bringing them into compliance with the post-listing obligations. That's all we have for you on this edition of the Nigerian Investor. I remain your regular anchor until I come your way again next week. Bye for now.